Awesome. All right. So before we jump into the training, I wanted to share one of my wins as well. And Tammy, it's kind of, going back to what you were talking about in terms of being attached to expectations or non-attachment. And as Tammy signed up to my Wellness Entrepreneur Accelerator program, excuse me, before I even officially launched it, right? But we had a call, talk about her goals. We knew it would be a perfect program for her. And then I officially launched the program, like I talked to you guys about last week, and I promoted an early bird price of 50% off if you signed up before the end of the year, right? And then we had our commitments to go live, and we did all that last call. So the price is $5,000 for the 2-month program, and the early bird was $2,500, which is an amazing deal considering the value and everything that I include in the program. And no one signed up. And I have to say that I was very confident that I was going to sign up 2 more people, right after Tammy signed up. So this is the reason why I talk about this as a win, because this is what I learned. And I want all of you to listen really, really carefully here, because this will continue to happen to all of us, no matter what stage of our business we are at, right? And so number one, the last 3 days before the year ended, I could tell that I was losing steam, and I started to feel totally defeated. So my thought was, well, even if I go live a couple more times, it really won't make that much of a difference, right? And I was still sending out my emails. I was still posting on social. I was still promoting the early bird price. I had recorded videos that my social media manager was using for reels and stories and things like that. But my brain was offering thoughts that were totally holding me back from like going full out, right? When I could have sped up a little bit more. I could have infused some more energy. Instead, I was like, well, maybe I pulled back, or at least I even just kept it the same. So the win here for me is, now that I know that that's how my brain wants to keep me safe. And I know that, well, for example, within our business maps, how we ask ourselves that question, what are the problems we need to anticipate? Right. And sometimes that's kind of a weird question to answer. It's like a tricky question to answer, because we're like, well, I don't really have a crystal ball. How am I supposed to know what problems I might encounter, down the road? And for me, the pandemic changed that for all of us, right? Like, I never in a million years, Anna Maya is 12 years old now, I would have never imagined the world shutting down the way that it did almost 2 years ago, right? I could have never predicted that. But now that I've lived through it and Anna Maya survived, which I'm very grateful for, we now make very important decisions in our business based on the potential of that happening again. Right? So just what are the problems that you can anticipate in your business? We're not out of COVID yet. Could that happen again? I guess it could. I'm really hoping it doesn't, but it's possible, right? So for me, with this early bird launch, I know that if there's been a little bit of traction or not enough traction, or the results aren't exactly what I planned for, I know now that my brain's going to offer me thoughts that are going to slow me down and have me fail ahead of time. Right? Instead of generating thoughts that are going to motivate me to pick up steam, get creative, have fun, and play full out, regardless of the outcome. I could have still done all that and not had those 2 people sign up, but I would have felt better about showing up that way and ending the year out that way than not. Right? So by anticipating that for the next time, I can make sure that I'm working with my coaches. I can set a plan in place where somebody's holding me accountable, so I can't make excuses and not do what I said I'm going to do, or just keep doing the same instead of ramping it up. I can now more easily recognize when that's going to happen, and I can have a plan in place to make sure that I shift my thoughts and immediately, shift my energy. Right. And win number 2 was that the realization is that it's important for me to sit in disappointment. Right. Like, it's so important for me. Right. Can you relate to that?
So good.
Right.
Like, I had to sit in it for my weekend retreat because I only had 2 people. Right.
Right.
Yeah. I had to sit in it because it was like, oh man, it was only 2 people, but it was like, no, there was 2 people that paid me money too. So yeah, completely agree.
Yes, it's important for us to sit in that disappointment, because I think as entrepreneurs, we're like, we don't want to feel the disappointment. We don't want to feel like a failure. So then it's going to go push, 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 hustle, 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 go, go, go in order to move forward. But truthfully, in order to really authentically move forward and move forward in an alignment, right? Like, for example, I'm moving forward into the second phase of my launch, because that was just the first phase of this launch. Now I'm going into the second phase of this launch. So I now know that I just need to feel the feelings of disappointment. I need to allow myself to feel those feelings of disappointment. I need to bring awareness to them, acknowledge them, and accept them. I call them the three A's, right? Awareness, acknowledge, and then accept. So accept that I feel disappointment, even at this stage in my career. I feel disappointment, and it's okay to feel disappointment. It's okay to feel like something's wrong with me. It's okay to feel like I'm not good enough, strong enough, smart enough. I've built seven-figure businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses, right? And I'm like still going through feelings of like, I'm not good at this. I suck. And then be okay with it. Like, that's the acceptance part. Like, we can bring awareness. Okay, I feel like I suck, and I acknowledge that I suck. But then accepting that you feel like you suck is hard. So I have to just sit in that in order to process those feelings, right? Like, feel those emotions, love them, know that they're there for a reason, embrace that that's just a part of me. Then we can move forward from a place of acceptance and healing rather than resistance and avoidance. Right. And the third lesson, which is so interesting, I know this, I've been coaching this for a decade, but it's just interesting that then this happens. I was hoping 2 people signed up, nobody signed up. And then I'm like, oh, right. I feel like the witch that gets the water, like totally deflated and defeated.
Throw yourself a pity party.
Yeah, I had a little pity party. Now, and also to talk about what Tammy was saying earlier, my pity parties in the past would have been so much more dramatic and much, now the pity party is a little bit like, okay, I'm feeling disappointment, I want to move forward. No. Have the pity party now. Sit in that. It's okay to have the pity party. Where before I would have had a big dramatic pity party and then felt like kind of shame about it. Where now I'm like, no, I got to move forward. And now I'm trying to tell myself, have the pity party for a moment, just for a minute, and then move forward. Right. And then, I mean, it's
from like
sorry,
the other half of the perspective, someone who did sign up, it's like, okay, maybe not as many people, but the people that you are serving with your mastery is like, wow, I'm going to make a really big impact on them.
Yeah.
And I have all this time or energy, right, to serve who it is that came into your field or that said full yes. And it's really just a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Because your
exactly.
mastery. It's like, okay, sit with that, but it's like, okay, let's flip it around and see that other half. Positive affirmations is so important.
It's so important. Yeah. And it's important to do it after you have felt that disappointment, because here's the thing, like, we can easily, because we know this works so well, we can easily go into the positive and I'm a badass and I'm going to be serving and I'm going to be helping women at a level I'm so excited to serve them at, unlike any time I've ever coached before in my life. But I don't want to use going there as a form of avoidance, because that sometimes we can go there into that positive state to avoid actually feeling the sucky, shitty feelings. Right. And when I sit in the disappointment, it can take seconds to minutes. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay, let's just feel it. Like, where is it in my body? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Where is it? What does it sound like? Right. Breathing into it. Just letting, vocalizing it. And then I'm like, okay, maybe journaling about it, doing some thought work on it, creating a model, right? With the work I do. And then I can move into the intentional model, which is this is who I'm serving, how I'm serving them. And I can't even wait for the results. It just gets me so jazzed. Right. And so the third lesson, or the win that I took away from this experience, a couple of weeks ago, or, literally a week and a half ago, I guess, was that I learned, or at least it reminded me, and this is kind of more of like a practical thing, but it reminded me that my mailing list is still very much a mishmash of people. Like I have people from my Anamaya on my mailing list. I have followers from my health and wellness days when I was running my health and wellness academy. Like I do have female entrepreneurs on that list, but not necessarily wellness entrepreneurs who are specifically looking to make 10K per month consistently. Like I just chose that niche a month ago. Right? Mm-hmm. So it's just like a reminder of like, okay, girl, you chose it a month ago, probably less. So now it's time to grow my list and grow my following with that niche in mind, like with that demographic in mind. So one of my plans for the first quarter of this year is to go out and find my niche, offer them a ton of value through my lead magnets, and then also through my social posts and my videos and my YouTube and my podcast, etc. Right? So Contel's like, I finally have a mailing list. Yes, that's a great win. Yay, only took 2 years, but that's okay. Better than, it's all good. So
can I give you some feedback as a potential customer? Because I love your coaching.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
I do.
Please.
I do. For me, the stopper was one, it was financial. Not that I don't value what you do, but I have had basically 2 years of not really earning good money.
Yeah.
So that's the one side of it. The other thing is, I am too scared to actually embrace the idea of making 10K. So when you say that, I think, well, that's not me, because I think it's never going to happen.
Just thinking that.
Yeah.
So if there was another catch in there, like I know what value you offer and stuff, it might be more likely for me to jump over my own shadow and go, well, okay, maybe I don't think I'm going to make 10K, but I could definitely do X, Y, Z. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, exactly. I love that you brought that up, because what I've realized with this niche is, so now I have basically two offers. One is this mastermind. And this is for you guys who are like 10K, I don't see it. Right? I'm like 2K, 3K, 5K. Okay, help me get there, Kelsey, help me get there. That's what this mastermind is for. And then we're going to get you there. And then when you are ready to be like, all right, I see it, I feel it, I am ready for that 10K, then we're going to work one-on-one together and I'm going to get you there. Right? So I love that you brought that up, Jillian, because it's true. Like and I wrote down, I'm not going to go to the document because of time, but when we did that niche workshop a couple weeks ago, when I did it myself, and remember there was a question on that niche workshop about who do you not want to work with, or who is this program not right for? And so I wrote on it that like kind of two versions. If you're not right for the 10K program, you'll be perfect for the mastermind if this, and this. But the people who are right for the 10K program, they're already making like 2, 3, maybe 5K consistently, but they just can't get past it. Like they've plateaued there. But for the people who are looking like, okay, now I'm ready to I want 2K, I want 3K, I want 5K, the mastermind is perfect as a wellness entrepreneur. So, and I'm in the middle of actually recreating my website so that it's very clear. This is for this demographic and this is for this demographic. So thank you for bringing that up. I love that. It's very helpful. So, yes. Okay. So I chose that niche. And my following in my mailing list doesn't quite match with that niche yet, right? I think my following might match more with the mastermind right now, right? Like you guys. But so I have to kind of work that in, like, like I was saying, like with my coach, Stacey Bayman, she has her 2K for 2K program, then she has her 200K program, and then her $2 million group, right? So it's like fine tuning the flow of your offers, right? Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking the same thing. For me, signing up for this is getting held accountable for saying yes. Like, we haven't had this meeting in 2 weeks, and I can already like clearly feel my mind stepping away into like, I'm losing my motivation, what if scenarios. But like, honestly, every week that we've been hopping on this call, like, it's like the little fire under my butt to like, oh wait, we got this. It's like that mentorship and being held accountable in this setting, like, really helps to say, yes, actually, no, I can do this. Here's help with
Yes.
structure, like other women out to do the same thing. That's valuable in itself.
It's so valuable. Yeah, that accountability. And actually, we're going to talk about that a little bit more later on in this training today. So so who has done their business map? Okay, Ish, Tammy. Okay, Kuntal, no. Okay, and Jillian, you haven't done it yet. Okay, that's fine. I might reach out to you guys individually, and we're going to set up a separate call to do our business maps, because I really want us to have that business map done so we can really, really see. You've been busy creating offers. I know it's great, but I want to make sure that we cultivate this business map, because we are going to be using it throughout the year, and we're going to be using it as a guide. It's a map. It's a map literally for our business. So we want to look at it, and it's going to guide us to accomplishing our goals. So I'll set up a call individually with both of you ladies, and then Tammy, we're meeting tomorrow. I really want that business map cultivated. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And also, for those of you who are watching this training and maybe you're not a part of the mastermind, the business map is a tool that I've created that I use with my clients, and we'll be using here in this mastermind throughout the year to help us go further, faster in accomplishing our goals. It helps us stay accountable, like Tammy was talking about. And it's just a fantastic tool to get you from where you are now to where you want to be in very clear way. There's a clear direction. That's why it's called the map. All right. So Jillian, you might have missed that call. Okay. We're going to get on it. It's such an important tool that we're going to use this whole year. Okay. So we're going to talk about the word of the year, and we're going to talk about incorporating that word into our business map and specifically our goals. So before I share the screen, I created this training literally a year ago, and I did it with Kuntal and the rest of the group of the mastermind a year ago today. And so Kuntal, I would love for you to talk about what that was like for you, because you chose a word of the year a year ago, and it helped guide you through 2021 in amazing ways. Do you want to just quickly speak to that?
Yeah, sure. It was the first time I decided to do that, thanks to your training. And the word I chose was courage. Now, it took courage to even choose that word, because I knew if I actually chose it, I would have to show up courageously, right? So I'm like, ooh, are we sure we're going to put this down? Because are we ready to do this? And then that's it. It was always, whenever I felt afraid to do something, I was like, okay, well, we've chosen courage, so let's go, right? So in choosing that, I did things that I was so scared of doing, right? But I just kept going. I'm like, okay, we're going to choose courage over fear. We're going to choose courage over fear. And thanks to that, I ended up doing so many things that I've never done in my life before, like hosting my first weekend retreat, hosting 3 micro retreats, and always just doing things outside of my comfort zone, right? So my motto was feel the discomfort and do it anyway, right? But it's because my guiding light was always the word that I've chosen. It's what I've committed to this year. And I think what happens is when you choose a word, it removes all the noise. It becomes like tunnel vision. Okay. Always, it's whenever you are faced with a decision, you come back to your word and you say, okay, well, that's what I've chosen. So it guided all my decisions. So very powerful exercise. And it's exactly what I had everybody do at the vision board workshop, right? And it was so empowering. For a lot of women had done that exercise before, and a lot of them hadn't. But just in choosing that word in word of the year, a very, very empowering exercise, which I'm so grateful to you for showing me how to do.
Oh, yay. I love that. Thank you so much. Because what I loved about your word was that we would have sessions in the mastermind and you'd be like, you were, going through the mind drama that we all go through. And then you were like, but my word of the year is courage. Okay. And I just saw a shift in you, like when you were kind of like going through the, the river of misery, as we call it. And then you would always bring it back to my word of the year is courage. My word of the year is courage. So I'm glad that you spoke about that, because you were like literally one of my first clients who went through that, and it served you so well. So I'm really excited to be doing it again. Yeah, totally. So, and the reason why, like, I've always like set goals for myself always. And then for the past 5 years now, 4 years, I've always chosen a word of the year, but I was like, I created them separately. They were never consciously correlated. And I was like, like it kind of makes sense that if you're setting goals for yourself and a word of the year, that they should be, intimately connected. So let me dive in. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So this was the PDF that I created. Hold on. And so it's your word of the year, to set your goals in 5 easy steps. Okay. So brand new year, brand new me. So I'm not going to go into this too much. I'm just going to, dive in. But these are my words for the last few years. So 2018, it was energy. 2019, it was trust. 2020 was acceptance. And I'm like, little did I know, because I chose that word before the world shut down. I was like, interesting that acceptance was my word. And then last year it was vitality. And then I'll share with you later what my word for the year is this year. So step 1 is to choose your word of the year. I'm just going to move this over here. So what word do you want to infuse into the year ahead? Like, what do you want to focus on? What would you like more of in your life? What would you like your 2020 guiding word? I like that guiding word to be. So here are a few examples: thrive, focus, simplify, flourish, change, gratitude, joy, courage, play, dream, connect, love, balance, commit, lead, health, and abundance, right? And that's just a small list that I put together. And then mine were energy, trust, acceptance, and vitality. So maybe some of those resonate with you. Maybe one just seems to jump off the page. Maybe you already have your word. Yeah, consistency. Jillian, that's such a good word. And is it okay if you share this document with my community? Yeah, so we can talk about that afterwards, because I can give you I'll put it in the master, or in our private Facebook group, actually. So yeah, consistency. So again, maybe some of those resonated, maybe not. This is just a short list. I know, Kuntal, you said that you've chosen a couple words for the year. I always recommend, not choosing more than 2, but it's completely up to you. Just because I feel like with our goals, we want to infuse a word that's really going to help give us clarity. That's just those are just my thoughts, my personal thoughts.
I feel like mine are intertwined this year, right? The 3 words I've chosen, they kind of go seamlessly well together. That's why I've chosen 3. I know last year was just 1, but honestly, it was a guidance that I received, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to go for. So
yeah, and then go for it. Like if that feels in alignment and authentic, and then I'd say go for it. And if they feel intimately connected with themselves, and that's great. Do you want to share what your 3 words are this year?
Yes, honestly, you won't believe how they came to me. I was in the midst of preparing for my vision boarding workshop, literally creating boxes, and I was listening to some music, and I just started writing everything down. And here's what I wrote: I said on the first new moon of 2022, Jan 2nd, 2022, I set this intention to shine bright like a diamond in the sun, to infuse love, beauty, and passion in everything that I do, to love with passion and see the beauty in all beings and our planet. So they kind of go together, love, beauty, and passion. So those are the three words. And I feel like they just kind of, they meld together. So yeah, I'm going to create beautiful things because I'm going to put so much love and passion into everything that I do.
Beautiful.
So I feel like they're kind of they're synergistic, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. I love it. And Jillian, is your word consistency? Is that the one you've chosen for 2022?
That is the one I've chosen. And the reason why is because I've had a podcast on the back burner for 3 years or so. I think I've talked to you guys about that already and never launched it. And yeah, so I need to just be consistent with myself, launch it and do it on a regular basis. I think that's what holds me back is the deal I have to make with myself where I don't make excuses and go, oh, today I'm kind of tired. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And then I can, I'll have enough time and then I'll put it up on Friday, that would be me. And also with things like my live streams, I'm supposed to upload the good ones, the ones that I'm happy with every Friday so that they're in the library. So people who don't catch the live streams, these are my yoga classes, right? Can do them. I don't do it. I only do the occasional one. It's really bad because I've promised and then I don't do it. I can make money on that, So that's why I need consistency and the posting on Instagram. I need to be consistent to grow my following and then see if that helps me to expand my reach, which is my business goal, right? And you guys inspired me, by the way. Can I just say that? You guys inspired me because I watched the last coaching because I missed it. And I was totally inspired. And so I went on and did 2. I did actually 3. I just took one off my tiles. Yeah, I felt so inspired. So thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Oh, congratulations. I mean, I was going to get to your wins later because I wanted to get to this, but that's a great win. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing win. Yay, Jillian. All right. And I love that word consistency. And we're going to, when we talk one-on-one, when we go through your business app, we're going to make sure that that is fully infused into your goals. All right. I love it. Tammy, how about you?
The word that just kept popping in, it came to me when I was driving, actually. Just like kind of looking around, I was in like a really positive state. And then I kept this word. I was like, wow. And to me, it's abundance. But abundance and not in monetary form. It has actually nothing to do with money, but abundance in like, instead of quantity, like the quality of each thing, of like my friendship, the abundance of what I put into something, my health. I think my health is going to be top number one of abundance, and then that ripple effect. And I just want an abundance of so many deep things this year, but not in materialistic or monetary.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful because I mean, and it'll, like you said, it'll trickle into so many areas of your life and your business.
And I made a map about it, abundance in the middle, and it goes, okay, health, what does that look like? The friendship, what does that look like? Work, what does that look like?
Beautiful. Oh, I love it. Such good words. Yay. All right. So we're going to incorporate those words into our goals. So they're intimately connected. So I feel that this year is going to be a huge year. Such a huge year. And so my word of the year is growth. And so just growth in so many ways. So I'm very, very excited about 2022 being a year of growth for me. And again, like that's with my health and wellness, and that's with my relationships, and that's with just so many things, my business as well. But, and again, similar to you, Tammy, not necessarily in a monetary way, although I do have big financial goals this year, but just that feeling of my own personal and professional growth. So that's my word. So now we've chosen our words. So step 2 is to choose the areas of your life that you want to incorporate the essence of your words. So we just kind of talked about that, right? So obviously this is a mastermind for wellness entrepreneurs. So I'm assuming you want to incorporate that word into your business, but incorporating it into your relationships. If that calls to you, or like, Tammy was talking about health and wellness, family, right? It could be finances. It could be your spirituality, right? So I want you to just think about the areas that you want to incorporate the essence of that word into your business. And in terms of growing your business, and it could be making more money if that is one of your goals, I want you to make sure that you write that down. Like it could be like with your business, I want to incorporate growth as making more money. We're going to get into kind of the more specifics in the next step. But I do, because, my goal right now is to make sure that I am reaching my clientele to make 10K every single month, or getting my clients ready to then get there, right? So getting my clients, the first step, like Jillian was talking about, to 2K, 3K, 5K regularly, right? So that success of my clients is a part of my success as a coach. And that's how growth is going to be incorporated into my business in terms of making more money. So again, it doesn't, like what Tammy was saying with the abundance, it's not necessarily about making more money, but because we're in a business and we want to grow, we don't want it to become a hobby. I do want you to think about that a little bit in terms of your word and growing your business. So for example, if your word was courage, like Kuntal's was last year, how did courage play a role in making more money for you or growing your business for you? Okay. Your word could be joy, right? How can you incorporate the energy of joy into growing your business or into making more money, right? Consistency. How does that relate to growing your business, right? You were just talking about that podcast, posting those videos that could be generating more money, right? Showing up on social, that could be attracting more people, right? And then also, think about the other areas of your life that you want to incorporate more of the energy of of that word, or the that your word represents. Okay, so we're going to quickly go through this. So step 3 is to basically take those areas, and then we're going to break them down into specifics. So this is where we get into the nitty-gritty details of the areas that you choose. So for example, on this document, right, what does that mean? Let's get into the details of the area. So let's say I chose my business as one of the areas of my life that I want to incorporate more vitality. So vitality was my word last year. Then in this step, I would break that down further. Like I want to incorporate more vitality into my business by serving at the highest level, right? By innovating our products, our programs, our services, our offerings, by creating deeper connections with my staff, with my team, with my partners, increasing our conversions by 10%. So like that vitality, that's how I want to incorporate more vitality into my business. This was examples that I used last year, right? Or how do I want to incorporate more vitality into my health and wellness? Well, I could, by improving my physical, mental, and emotional health, by increasing my energy levels, by raising my vibrational frequency, by reducing stress, right? And don't worry about setting goals yet. We're going to get into that, right? But this step, you're just going to break down the specifics of the areas so we can then create clear and defined goals later. Okay. Now, I would say that, take some time here to go through this. You guys are probably going to have to go and do this at another time. For those of you who are watching live, if you're watching the replay, just pause the video and then you come back to me later after you've filled this out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, I know I have 4 each here, like 4 for my business and 4 for my health and wellness. It could be as many as you want. These are just the examples that I used in this document. But I want you to get clear on infusing that word into those areas that we were talking about. Okay. And then,
this is a PDF you share on the group?
Yeah, I'm going to share this in the group so you guys can go back to this. So step 4 is, this is where you're going to set some goals. Okay. And this step, you're going to take each of those specifics that we just laid out, and then you're going to set some goals to accomplish them. So most people fail to achieve their goals because they're not specific enough, because they don't prioritize them, because they don't revisit them, right? Which is my plan for 2022 with you guys, to be like, go back to our business maps on a regular basis every single month. So we're revisiting them. Our brain sees them. We get used to knowing, oh yes, this is what I'm working towards, right? And another reason why people fail to achieve their goals is because they don't know their why. They're not getting clear on their why, right? So we're going to get to prioritization and why in the next step, in the 5th step. But for now, we're just going to focus on the details of your goals. And again, so at this point, for those of you who have completed your business map, I want you to look at your 12-month goals. Right. And if you haven't done it, that's okay. We're going to do that together. And are there any missing that maybe you've uncovered through this process? Right. And if it's all pretty much in alignment, how can you infuse now the energy of your word into those 12-month goals? Because when we went through the business map, we chose those goals, we created those goals kind of based on the worksheet of the business map itself, without thinking about the word. Now that we have our word, we're going to infuse it. So, and there's a little bit of a, there's a method to the madness, because I want to go into those goals now, and then we're going to drop deeper into them now, having the word of the year. Okay. So and the other thing I want you to do, and again, we'll do this when we have our one-on-ones, is I want you to make a note on your business map what your word is that you chose for the year ahead. So when we revisit the business maps over the next 12 months, you'll be reminded of your word. You'll be reminded of the energy that you want to cultivate as we work towards achieving those goals. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So again, if you're watching the replay, you'll probably want to press pause on this and then work on writing out all your goals. Get super specific on how your word will help you achieve them, or how you'll incorporate the essence of your word into your goals, and then come back to the recording. And so for you guys doing this live, I'll post this in the group. You're going to have to, dedicate some time later to kind of go through this exercise, but please make sure you do. And also, when we go through your business maps, I'll do that with the intention of infusing your word. And the idea behind this, I really want you to make this a priority, because it's neuroscience. This really all comes down to science. Like, you will be more successful and you will achieve more by thinking about your goals, by looking at them regularly, by physically writing them out. I mean, you might have them. I have mine on my computer on a Google Doc. But I also, when I'm journaling, like, I'll go back and I'll write, I'll write it out. Or even when I'm doing my weekly planning and I look at my business map and I know what I want to work on that week, even just by scheduling it in on my planner, I'm writing it out. Right? It just helps train the brain to focus on our goals and focus on achieving them. Because trust me, come January 1st, or what is it? It's January 5th. Come January 5th, 2023, right? We're going to look back over the year, right? And you will be grateful. We'll be so grateful that we did this work now. Like, even with Kuntal, she was like, I chose courage, and oh my God, it got me through 2021 in such a beautiful and brilliant way. Right? Okay, so just as an example, like, one of the specifics was to improve my physical, mental, and emotional health with the word vitality. So an example of some of the goals I could set myself would be like, I'm going to meditate for at least 15 minutes a day by incorporating it into my morning routine, and then using the Done app. I actually don't use that app anymore, but that was what I was using a year ago. Or exercise to get my body moving at least once for no less than 45 minutes a day. At least once. So sometimes that was 2 times for at least 45 minutes a day. Right? And schedule it into my calendar and my planner every week so that it's in there. Right? And then read 10 pages every day of nonfiction, no audiobooks, and schedule it into my day to make it a priority. Right? Again, those are just some examples of like infusing vitality into my goals. Okay. So step 5 is the final process. And like I mentioned earlier, most people will fail to achieve their goals because they're not specific enough. They don't revisit them, they don't prioritize them, and they don't know their why. So you want to ask yourself, why? why these specific goals. Why do I feel it's important to meditate for 15 minutes at least every day and incorporate it into my morning routine? It was a mouthful, right? Why? Why do I want to make these goals a priority? And to help you figure out your why, look at the bigger picture. How will achieving this goal impact your life beyond the next 12 months? How will achieving this goal make you feel? Right? Again, it's science. We know that when we can cultivate and generate the emotion of how we'll feel once we, or when we think we've achieved that goal, by cultivating that emotion beforehand, we'll get to achieving that goal a lot more quickly. Because if we think achieving a goal is going to make us feel a certain way, then we'll be very disappointed. It might make us feel that a certain way for 2 seconds, but if we can't cultivate that emotion ahead of time, then really achieving that goal isn't going to help. It's like people who think, I'll finally be happy when X, Y, and Z, and then X, Y, and Z happens, and they might be happy for 5 minutes, and they're like, it's because they weren't happy before. You take yourself everywhere you go. Right? So I want you to, how will this achieving this goal make you feel, so that we can cultivate that feeling as we work towards those goals? How will it enrich your life? How will it impact the lives of your loved ones? What are the resources you have that will support you in achieving these goals? Right? It's important to remember that why the heck are these goals important in the first place? Right? Because they're kind of arbitrary. We just make them up. But then once we know our why, we have a much better chance of accomplishing them. Did I say that? Accomplishing them. Wow. Talking too much already, right? So write down a few bullet points to get yourself clear on your why. Again, if you're watching the recording, pause, right? And then come back to me once you're finished, right? Now, if you want this to be different from any other time that you set goals for yourself, then I do have a few strategies, fail-proof strategies. Hold on. Can you see that? Is the left-hand side cut off for you guys? No? Can you see it? Okay.
I can see it.
You can see it? Okay. So funny. It's weird. It's a little cut off for me. Anyway, okay. It's just my screen. So yes. Okay. So here are the fail-proof strategies. I don't know if you can see all that. So set reminders on your phone. We have this amazing device, right? Set reminders on your phone. Like if you have goals for specific deadlines or times that you need to focus on them, set reminders, right? And there's apps for this as well. Like there's so many fun things that you can do to kind of, play with to keep you on track. Post a list of your goals where you can see them daily. Now, this is something that we're going to be working on in this mastermind, right? Like I said, we're going to look at this. We're going to create our business map. We're going to create our goals. We're going to infuse this word. We're going to go through the whole next year focusing on literally achieving the goals that we set out for ourselves, right? But if you can post a list, you can create like a screensaver for yourself in Canva. Put your word of the year, some of your like prioritized goals or the areas, like that's really fun, right? Just have fun with it, but post them so your brain will register them regularly. Right? Great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea, right? Canva is free. You could like play and make some kind of fun image, right? On Canva, or even on your phone. It can be a screensaver on your phone, your computer, whatever, right?
Mind Map and Mind Meester is an amazing one for this effect.
Oh yeah, what's it called again? Mind Map?
Mind Map. Mind. I'll post it in the group actually.
Okay, great.
Creating a screensaver?
X-Mind. It's called X-Mind.
But is it for creating a screensaver?
You can. It's creating a mind map, exactly what this one looks like.
Oh, mind map.
But like different trees, different things to branch off to organize. It really helps. Like,
yeah, if you could put it in the chat, please.
Clear my brain on.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and then just having that visual, right? And then having your brain registering it regularly. Like that's really important, right? And then of course, finding an accountability partner, right? So for those of you who are not in a mastermind group or whatnot, like find somebody who is also working towards achieving massive goals for the year, meet with each other every week. Like, Tammy was saying, oh, we missed last week because of the holiday. And she's like, you could already feel the motivation kind of slipping, or you just didn't have that additional spark. Like coming to these meetings is so important. Having an accountability partner is so important as you work towards achieving your goals. Read your goals out loud before you start your day. This is incredibly powerful. So, so if you have it printed, then you can be like, okay, this is my goal, this, read it out loud, maybe dance around, get energy moving in your body, feel the emotions, right? Like I know people who like jump on their rebounder. I have a rebounder and I'll jump on my rebounder sometimes. I'll just go over, thinking about my goals, visualizing my goals, right? And then celebrate your daily victories that you've had before going to bed. Again, training your brain to see the successes. That's why we go through wins every time we meet, because I want your brain to see your wins, because typically our brain wants to see the scary stuff, the stuff that isn't working, the stuff that sucks, because it's trying to keep us safe. I want to train your brain to see the victories and the achievements and the successes, because then that will continue to move your brain in that direction. I mean, celebrating ourselves, celebrating each other, there's, again, there's a method to my madness, right? So, and again, you can also do this by writing them down in your journal. If you have a journaling practice, celebrate your wins, right? And then I also, for those of you, I can post this in the group as well. For those of you who aren't a part of the mastermind, I can, on my website, there's a free meditation that I offer specifically to help you focus and work towards achieving your goals. And it's just a great way to visualize. It's a great way to heal. There's like a healing aspect to it too. Like, remember I was talking about like just sitting in the disappointment, right? So I'll post that in the group. And then for any of you who are not a part of the mastermind, it's on my website. It's free, and it'll just help you heal your blocks, shift your mindset, and kind of act as a springboard into success. So I know we went a little over today. Any additional thoughts, ladies? Aha moments, questions before we sign off for today? Always over delivering on value. Thank you. Thank you. Tammy?
All of it. I think I'm going to take the next couple hours and sit and work on this.
Okay, great. I'll post it in the group.
Won't have much to do today, and it's taking the time out of your day to sit and actually do it. Once you get started, it's like, oh, so happy that I did this. Right, sitting down.
Exactly.
It's really inspiring. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yay.
And just a little insight on a personal, when I was talking about like the disappointment thing, I got a text from my mother actually like randomly. So I had to like process that, or like be present with this, and like extreme like disappointment with that, and like this alignment and connection, and it's like like tears my heart open in so many ways. Based on this COVID crap. It's a whole nother story, but it was just interesting. I'm like, okay, disappointed in that. It's like, I'm not being seen or met there, but you know what? It turns me into like the best human I can possibly be, and be like, okay, that's over there, but you know what? I'm gonna be here.
It's an abundance of lessons.
Totally.
Like, all right, abundance of moments to grow, abundance of moments to feel, an abundance of, all of that. If that's, because that's your word, right? Abundance.
Based on this COVID thing of it's divine separation. And I'm so opposite that. Like, that's where the abundance comes, like abundance of connection and love. And it's like, okay, we're on to a different story. I cannot maintain this story of separation anymore. And this abundance of health, love, this direction, like so far on a different angle, different road right now.
Yeah.
Stuck in the fracking rabbit hole with the C word. Sorry. But
I get it.
Surrender, and it's abundance, and it's inspiring. Move forward. How are we going to recreate ourselves?
That's right. Yeah. As well as recognizing, accepting, and then recognizing, feeling, moving on. Yeah, the 3 A's, right? Awareness, acknowledgement, acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
When you were speaking, Kelsey, about your experience about the mastermind that you were trying to launch, I was only feeling deep gratitude and respect for the fact that you were actually sharing that, because you've been in business a long time. It's the same for me. I've been in business and variations of my business for so long, and had varying degrees of success. And then when it when it fails at that point, it's often hard to admit it, you
Mhm.
know? And so I just felt such relief and respect and love for you for sharing that, honestly,
Aw.
because it was just like, I think we all have expectations that when somebody's at a certain level and they're doing a certain amount of things that we just automatically assume everything's running smoothly and they're having,
Yeah.
tons of success in every endeavor, but that's not true, right? The reality
Yeah.
is some stuff works and some stuff
Mhm.
needs to be, retuned and recalibrated. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. That actually got me a little emotional. Like, but I feel like it's important for me to share that with you guys because I go through it too, and sometimes it doesn't work, but it's also about that knowing, like, it's about the lessons. It's about feeling that disappointment, feeling the feelings of, I still feel unworthy at times, that I suck. I'm going to swear, but it's like, sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. But, and I say that kind of jokingly, but we all have that little piece of us that feels like a piece of shit sometimes, right? We all have that. We don't want to talk about it, but it's there and it's okay to talk about. And I think especially in a group like this with women who are just trying to make the world a better place through what we offer, through our businesses, and we still have that little part of us, which is totally a part of our healthy brain. It's just our healthy brain trying to keep us safe, because if our healthy brain is telling you that you're a piece of shit, it means you're not going to step outside your comfort zone. It means you're not going to take a risk. It means you're not going to do something where you're worried about how other people are going to look at you or think, like when I started Anna Maya, I started a business in Costa Rica, in a country I didn't live in or even speak the language. People thought I was batshit crazy. People thought I was
Badass. That's what you were. You were badass. Forget bad shit crazy. No, you're badass.
Well, now people might see me as a badass because it's like, oh, okay, well, now it's a multi-million-dollar business and it's like 12 years old. All right, well, now you're badass. Back there, you were still batshit crazy, whatever it is. But even after all that success, even after, found like creating my backpack company and then having a successful sale in 2020, like all of that, I can still have a launch where I just wanted to sign up 2 people and nothing. I got radio silence. And the 3 days leading up to the deadline, I started to fail ahead of time. I started to feel defeated. I started to feel, really just like, going into the pity party. And it's like, well, why bother going live? It's December.
Okay, we're gonna get you more clients. I'm gonna do a picture of you and I'm gonna post it in my stories. But seriously, this is so inspiring. Is everybody okay with that? That more women need to be a part of this, like just having this chat and like, I'm leaving this call feeling like, yeah, let's go, right? And it's more people need to know about it. So I'll do a story. Can I share one thing that I think I'm really proud of, and it just came to me, and I think everybody could benefit. It's piggyback off of what you're just saying about, the learnings, right? So as I was working on my retreat or the Life by Design workshop that I just did, I'm an accountant, right? So I do numbers first. I create my little spreadsheet of P&L, like profit and loss statement. And I projected what my costs were going to be and what my revenue was going to be. You know what I did? The guidance came to me and I said, no, I'm not going to call it a profit and loss statement anymore. Going forward in my company, we're going to call it a profit and learning statement, because it's not a loss, it's a learning. So even if I didn't make money, I learned so much, right? So it's not a P&L. It is P&L, but it's going to be profit and learning statement, not profit and loss statement.
That's how I'm
gonna run my company. Yeah, I just came up with it. I thought you would appreciate it.
I love it.
Right?
I love that.
It's just like brilliant.
That's so good. Hey, Kuntal, did you do your vision boarding hybrid, or did you only do it?
Did I ever, Jillian? Where have you been? Go to my Instagram. Like,
oh, okay.
Where have you been?
I want to. Can I book
Instagram
it
afterwards?
Can I book it afterwards? Because I was like, if she does that virtual, I want to do it.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I've had so many women that are like, when are you doing the next one? And I am actually considering doing virtual because it was off the charts. Go to my Instagram. I've created a highlight reel called Life by Design. You will see the journey from launch to the day after, the whole thing. It's off the charts. Yeah.
But I think what Jillian was asking, Kuntal, is did you do it hybrid on the day? Did you have remote?
No.
And
No. Is that what you were asking?
Okay.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
No, thank God I didn't, because there was way too much going on. There was no way I could have like paid attention to the virtual people. But I think I will do a separate one for just people that are virtual, that want to do virtual. Because
I did, I was inspired by what you did. I was inspired by both of the things that I saw in the last workshop. I did want to say that these calls, it's always better to be here, but they're so great, even if you watch them afterwards. I was just so inspired by everything that I saw from all of you women. Anyways, and I was like, oh yeah, vision boarding. I've been talking about people about that. And I thought everybody knows what a vision board is, but I just thought I'll just tag that onto one of my classes in the new year and just say, if you want to stay for an extra half an hour, I will show you how to. We're not going to like make it together, but I'll just show you how to. And I did this little thing where I got them to just brainstorm about what do they want for the year and stuff. And all the women who stayed did not know what a vision board was.
Yes.
Wow.
So thankfully I came prepared, and I physically showed them what mine was, the start out of mine was like, kind of a thing. And then I got them writing back to me saying, I was so inspired. Thank you very much. Sadly, it was like a freebie, right? It was only a 30-minute kind of like, just show them what it's like. But I'm thinking, God, I want to do that again. That was so fun. Next year, maybe, because it's already too late, but that was so cool. What a great
Well,
idea.
let's organize it. Why next year? We're still only 5 days into the year.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say that it's too late. I wouldn't say, especially for people who don't know what it is. I mean,
people are still in that energy of New Year, new goals. Listen, I'm thinking I need to have
a little call with you, Kuntal, and you tell me.
Please do. I would love to. I've got the template. I've got it all. We've got this amazing workbook that if Kelsey's okay to share, and then of course give you credit for it. We have so many resources and tools that we can, honestly, like, women are so grateful, and you will feel great because you've created a ripple effect, and those women are going to go out and create their own dreams, and they will create some beautiful things, right? So it's really amazing. Just do it.
And it was so helpful because it helped me to reveal to people what it is I do in this goddess workshopping that I do, where I basically, that's what I do. Is it's the whole year along. It's not just vision boarding, it's just stuff to help them visualize who they could become.
Like it could be a monthly thing, or like, it's just like every full moon, if that's the way you want to go, or monthly. So like we get so hyped up and it's the new year, we need to do as if the magic wand is gonna shift from like the 31st to the 1st, and then 7 days later you're back into your default pattern, where like it takes 30 days to restructure a pattern. So even having one February 1st would be more powerful than January 1st. Okay, you had your 30 days. The mood is like settling back in now. Okay, revamp.
They say that for people who set New Year's resolutions, I think the magic day is January 18th is when they give up.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I have a yeah, okay. That's a good date to set a second one then. Okay, here we go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who makes up those rules anyway, that it has to be on the first day? People are really in that mindset right now. If you look on, Instagram and stuff, everybody's talking about goals. So right now is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah. And you could use that. I mean, you can double check that stat, but I'm pretty sure it's January 18th. So you could even use that and say by January 18th, people usually who have made set goals for themselves or made New Year's resolutions have already quit. Don't be one of those people. This is what I have for you. And
I love that.
Yeah. It's all how you spin it, right? That's the one thing I've learned is those are all just limiting beliefs. Nobody makes up rules, right?
Yeah, I love the idea of doing it every new moon.
Yeah, new moon,
I love that idea. Like Tammy was saying.
every solstice, we could make could tie in spirituality with it.
Oh,
so which actually Jillian
that
does
is what my goddess is. It's every
there
solstice.
you go. Well, there you go, right? And I made sure women knew that we chose January 2nd because it was not only new year, but it was the first new moon of the year, right? But every new moon there's an opportunity to set new goals and new intentions. So we, in this world, we can always use spirituality to also be, you know, encourage women to set new goals. Never a bad time.
And so you mentioned like, okay, not going live or broadcasting the whole thing. Maybe it's more private, or like the next one, it's like, hey, we're gonna Zoom this across so we even get them more of a ripple. But like, I believe it's not your role to be that content creator. Like that's the last thing you want to think of. So there's a specialized person that comes in that's like designated for that exact thing, content creator, right? So because I did that the first couple retreats, I was like, oh, I could use my iPhone, you know, it has good quality. Oh no, the next one I'm bringing someone on board. That is their role. They get the most when someone's like, oh, and the gaze or the hug or something that like it's not like, oh, stage a group photo, right? So having a content creator would be perfect, and broadcasting it live, because yes, I would love to like sit and be a part of it from afar.
Yes.
The donation thing for the first one, or like a price tag, you know, because it's secondary to being hands-on and in person.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, Jillian, the vision boarding, like for example, I had my own personal board as an example, and I didn't just talk the talk, I'd walk the walk so I could show.
Yeah, it's so important.
What I did is I also brought in coaches. I had two coaches, one who had an astrological focus and one who's a mindset abundance coach, right? So you don't have to do everything. You
totally over-delivered.
Yeah, I totally over-delivered. I love it. Oh,
what's the mindset abundance coach? Because that's exactly what I was thinking for Denise.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So they added so much value, and then through that they got access to a beautiful community of 10 women that are ready to make changes in their life. So it was a win-win. So you could bring in Kelsey maybe, right? And then that gives Kelsey a platform. So we can kind of, you know, help each other out in that way too, right?
Yeah. Which is what a mastermind really, you know, like that, the core essence of a mastermind is that. So it's like every, you know, collaborating and creating and bouncing ideas off each other and helping and supporting. And, you know, that's what I love. I love about this group too, and the intimacy of this group. And even like Tammy joined and everyone was like embracing her, you know?
I already told Tammy we're going to do a collab at Anamaya. She's going to teach the movement piece, and I'm going to do yoga. And Jillian, you can come too, and Kelsey, you can come too, and let's have a party.
Costa Rica's on my bucket list. When I first moved to Germany, I was supposed to go there with my best friend, and then it was one of the reasons why I joined Kelsey's first free webinar, because I was like, get out of here. She's a business coach for wellness, and she's in Costa Rica with a retreat center. Okay, this is too good to be true. It was like a combination of everything that I was like yearning for.
Yeah, can you imagine if we all gather at Anamaya?
I know. So this is one of my goals. This is one of my goals, is to have the mastermind, have a retreat at Anamaya.
Oh man, I can help you sell that out. I can help you. I've got women that will go.
What are you waiting for your bucket list to go? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Jillian or me?
No, Jillian. You've been to Anamaya, Kelsey.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you would. Yeah.
That was my bucket to go to Costa Rica or to go to Anamaya. I was like, it's been established 12 years. I'm just curious. What are you waiting for?
I never heard of Anamaya before. Costa Rica was because my husband was nervous about me going, especially when our kids were small. Because he's a doctor, so he always thinks worst case scenario, diseases, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? So that was it. And then you know, I was just in the business of. I had a physical business that I grew for 7 years and just closed. So I was totally immersed in that. And part of that, my kids were too small. I just had to be there. I don't have a family member here, so it's all on me. So yeah, so now I'm ready. My son is like 14. My girls are 21 and 19. Tell me the date.
Okay, Tammy, we got to get cracking. Let's do it.
All right.
We got to create something
now, because they're booked out a year in advance.
Yeah.
So you gotta
get on it now.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying next year. That could be our 2023 vision. But put it out there.
And also cultivate the vision, because if something does open up, you never know.
You right?
Oh, we jump right in there.
Yes, yes. We already got one person and we just have like how many? 15 more to go.
Yeah.
Listen,
Now
now
to my community.
I feel like anything is possible. I feel so unstoppable today. Or just in general, like I'm just, yeah, anything is
It's
possible.
our year, ladies. It's
It's
our
our
year.
Okay, guys, I have to go. I have a call in
Yes.
like an hour, but I have to have lunch and all that stuff. So,
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone
Thank you.
watching. And I will be in touch with you, Kuntal, and you, Jillian, about scheduling a one-on-one call. And Tammy, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. And please
All
post
right.
the PDF.
Thank you.
And I'll go ahead and take
Yeah.
time while I'm sitting here.
Absolutely. All right.
Happy New Year.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
See you
Happy
next
New Year.
week.
Thanks, ladies.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye.